It is so important to keep kids safe and protect their YouTube experience. There's a lot of content that just isn't made for kids, or some that is, but you certainly don't want your kids to watch it. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 7 different ways you can protect your kids' YouTube experience. And then at the end of this video, I'll share with you a list of channels that are family friendly, that are fun, and even educational. Okay, so we obviously want to protect our kids against all forms of pornography or any adult content, things that are vulgar. I mean, there's even content that looks like it's meant for kids with Disney characters, but is certainly not appropriate at all. And there's a lot of content that's violent, but there's also other types of content that some parents consider okay, where you may not, such as toy unboxings or toy unwrappings, where kids are just playing with different toys every single day. There are a lot of channels dedicated to gaming and convincing kids that they can become millionaires just by playing games all day long. And then sometimes there's videos of other kids with really rude behavior or bad language, stuff like that. I'm going to share with you 7 different ways you can protect your kids' experience here on YouTube and kind of direct the type of content that you want them to see. Oh, and then at the end, I'm going to share with you a list of channels that are very family friendly, that are fun and even educational. Okay, so there are 7 different things that you need to do to protect your kids, making sure that they have a great experience on YouTube. So the first one is you need to create a separate Google account that they will use to log in and access YouTube, separate from yours. Now, I'm going to show you how to do this, but I want to explain that you can also create separate Google accounts for each of your kids depending on their ages. You know, one that's a teen, one that's younger than the teens. When you do it this way, you can really control the exact experience that they have. Let's show you how to do that. Okay, so we're signed in here to my YouTube account, and I'll show you how to do this to create a new Google account. Come in here to switch account. I've got a lot of channels I have access to that are blurred here, but if you scroll down to the bottom, you can click add account. You can see I've got a lot of accounts here, but if you do use another account and then click create account for myself, you can name this whatever you want. You can name it account for Sarah, right? So, or just put Sarah's name on here. Create a new email address for this, and then create a password. When you hit next, it will make you verify the account with a phone number. So all the devices that Sarah will be using or accessing YouTube, you'll want to log in using this account, okay? That is step number 1. Okay, the thing you need to do next is set the account to restricted mode. Restricted mode is a built-in feature by YouTube that will restrict a lot of pornography and adult type content. Let's show you how to do that. To turn on restricted mode, just come again to YouTube, click on your face or whatever you have as your icon for your channel. You can come down here. Right now I've got restricted mode off, and now I can activate restricted mode. Now, did you notice what it said there? Let me open this back up and I'll go in there. So it says this setting only applies to this browser. So every device or browser that your kids will be accessing YouTube on, you'll need to go into each one of them and turn on restricted mode. Okay, and there's one other thing with restricted mode. Restricted mode lock prevents others from changing restricted mode on this setting. So your kids can't just come and turn off restricted mode, and you would click that right there. And in order to turn off restricted mode, you've got to enter that password again. All right, let's go see what number 3 is. Okay, I've been forgetting to check these off. So I got number 1, set up a new account. Number 2, all browsers, all computers and devices, set it to restricted mode. Number 3, is you can go through and actually say, I'm not interested in this video or this type of video or this content. You want to see how to do that? Okay, so I switched accounts. This is a Nate Woodbury account that I never consume content on, or rarely, or not that I want YouTube to remember. So I can come in here and it doesn't really matter. Let's say this Jimmy Fallon Tonight Show. Let's say, you know what, I don't want my kids to watch that. You simply click that and say not interested. notice there's a don't recommend channel. So just to show you what it does, click I'm not interested. You can even come in here and tell us why. I've already watched the video, or I don't like the video. Hit submit. You know what? I don't want my kids watching Refinery 29, What Beauty's Like for the Homeless. I don't know. So let's just say you don't want your kids watching that. Don't recommend that channel. And you can scroll down and look at, okay, do I want my kids seeing stuff about COVID-19? I'll actually just say not interested in that topic. King of Random, that's actually one that I'm going to recommend later on. So that's a cool channel to have there. You wouldn't want to, you know, maybe you could save to watch later or add to queue, but you ignore that one because you want stuff like that to show up. All right, celebrities read mean tweets. Now I don't want my kids doing that, not interested. So there are thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of videos uploaded every single day to YouTube. So it's going to take some time for YouTube to really learn what videos you like or your kids like so that it will recommend the best videos for them. But YouTube does want to recommend and suggest content that you want to watch. So in the case of your daughter, the more time you put into this of showing what not to watch and what to watch, the better this filter is going to work for you and your kids. So I'd suggest actually doing some searches for a specific type of content. So let me show you an example of how to like a video so YouTube will suggest more like it. My 7-year-old son really likes marble race videos, okay? There's one that had flags on it. I don't know which is which, but these are probably it. So I would click on a video. All right, so the video started. Let me skip ahead into this video. All right, these are all the countries competing. These are all the marbles in there. All right, ready, set, go. And there's this marble race, okay? So I would actually watch or let my child watch this video. And if it's something that he or she wants to watch more of, I'd simply come down here and hit, I like this. And if I wanted to, you know, what's Raptor Sonic? I might want to check out the channel itself. What type of videos does this channel put out? You see that there are a lot of similar type videos. And I might, if I decide that I want to approve this channel, I might come over here and actually subscribe to this channel so that on my child's account, okay, I'm going to be signed into that account, what I like, what I don't like, what I'm not interested in, the channels that I do subscribe to, it's all going to feed into what they see when they sign into YouTube. Now, as a side note, I know that my son learned about these videos from watching them at a friend's house. Nothing I can do to control that. I don't necessarily want my son just sitting there watching this mundane stuff over and over. So at the end, I will share some channels that I do recommend that you subscribe to. All right, let's go see what number 4 is. Okay, we know all about saying I'm not interested or liking or subscribing to different channels. Number 4 is you can actually look at history. Now I'm talking about after your son or daughter has been watching YouTube and you want to go back and review the history of what videos are they watching. It's actually really important for you to know that. And if you find something in there that they shouldn't be watching, you can remove it and then talk to them about it. But when you remove it, it will make sure that YouTube doesn't recommend content like that in the future. Let me show you how to do that. Okay, so I'm back on the YouTube home screen and I like King of Random, so I'm actually going to select this video, just watch it for a moment. Okay, then I'm going to go back to the YouTube home screen. Now over here on the left you'll see history. When you click on history, you'll see those 2 videos that I just watched. Okay, and if you wanted to, let's say you do want your kids to continue to watch King of Random, but you know what, these marble races, I don't think I want them wasting their time on those. You just come here, remove from watch history. And you can see that on this channel there's been some, Backyard Ninja Kids is one I didn't recommend, but that's one you can check out. Let's say America's Got Talent. I don't know, I like that. But let's say you don't want your kids watching those, you would just hit the X on that right there. So that's different from saying, I don't like this, or I'm not interested, or don't suggest channels like this. This is just removing stuff from their history. It also allows you as the parent to go in and see what videos has my child been watching. All right, we understand history. All right, number 5, did you know that there is a separate YouTube app for kids? It's called YouTube Kids. Let me show it to you. So this is the web page that talks all about YouTube Kids. YouTube says it was created to give a more contained environment that makes it simpler and more fun for them. So content that's really geared for kids. That's not to say all the content here you want your kids to watch, but let me just show you some of the things that it has in here. YouTube, one, they want it to be a safer experience. So you're not going to find stuff like porn and stuff on here or adult type content. You'll actually be able to do some of these things, approve content, approve collections. It says you can select content level by age. There's a timer within the app, and there's blocking. You can just block certain types of content. So that's nice that they put that in there. And they've curated a lot of different type of content, from arts and crafts to toys and play to learning and hobbies, and other shows like television shows for kids or cartoons that you can find on YouTube. And as it says here, the YouTube Kids app is free, just like the YouTube app is free. So that's certainly an option that you can explore depending on the age of your kids and how much time they will be spending on YouTube. Okay, I've got another suggestion for you. All right, we've talked about YouTube Kids. The last suggestion I have here, plus a bonus one, is YouTube web filters. Okay, there are all different types of filters that cover all browsers, that cover any internet activity in addition to YouTube. I recommend that you do research. I found one that I'm going to show to you. Okay, this is just one that I found. I have not used it, so I'm not giving it my endorsement or my recommendation, but their web page talks about a lot of the things that we want in a web filter like this. So one, there's an app blocker. You can, with their service, you can block certain apps on their phone or on different Android or Samsung devices. You can block apps. You can specify time frames. Okay, they're only allowed to use it between these hours, block out these things, make sure they're not on it at night or when they're at school, if we had school right now. They're not allowed to use their phone or these apps at this specific time during school. You can block games. You can actually block categories of content, whether it's advertisements, whether it's gambling, whether it is pornography, or whether it's specific search engines or topics that you just don't want your kids to come across. Then there are specific sites that you can block. So if you know that there's websites that you absolutely want to make sure these ones get blocked, you can put in the URL for that website, or on the other hand, if there are websites that you want to specifically allow, you can do that too. Okay, NetSanity here also does specific YouTube filtering. It works across all browsers, and it will filter out not just the videos, but it will filter out comments that you don't want your kids to be reading. Then one last thing that I want to show you with this software is they actually have their own search engine. It's called Safe Search for them, where within their search engine, you can make sure that things that are suggested are approved for your kids. And you can set a lot of the parameters of this safe search. Now, again, I'm not recommending this one. I am not sponsored, or they're not sponsoring this or anything, but I do want to show you the cost. They have a free version and a premium version. As I quickly look at this, it looks like, yeah, I definitely would want their premium version. I recommend looking into this one and many others and comparing them and seeing which one is the best fit for you. So I bet you're wondering, what's item number 7, the bonus item that I have over here? All right, so we talked about web and browser filters. I'm going to check this one now because I'm going to show it to you next. Okay, we want to talk about when your kids have their own YouTube channels, when they're creating videos and they're posting content to YouTube. What can you do to keep them safe in that regard? Now, first of all, know that YouTube's policy is that you have to be 13 years old to be able to have your own YouTube account. So if they're younger than that, you need to be the owner of the account. You need to supervise them. And even if they're older, I do recommend supervising what are they uploading. You'd create the same account for them and follow all the steps that we've outlined in this video, but now they actually have a YouTube channel associated with it where they're going to be uploading content. What information do you want your kids putting out there? Do you want them telling people their phone number? Do you want people putting their address on there? What types of activities do you want them to do? This is where you need to supervise your kids. I'm not going to talk any more about that because I'm going to leave that up to you to decide how you do that. The one thing that I do want to let you know about, though, is comments. You may want to disable comments on your kids' YouTube channel because there will be a lot of hate comments. This is just the nature of YouTube. People can create a profile or an account on YouTube and they pretty much are still anonymous. They can say as mean things as they want and not have to worry about repercussions. Like if somebody on Facebook commented to you on Facebook, you can go and look up who they are. So people are more real. They're gonna filter what they say a bit more, but you don't find that on YouTube. So you may want to turn comments off on their channel. Now another option is you can filter comments. So you leave the comments turned on, but you turn on filters. And a couple of years ago, Grant Thompson, who has now passed away, he founded the channel King of Random. he created a massive swear word list, okay? Seriously, it had every swear word, every vulgar word or phrase or misspelling or this or that he collected over the years. It was pages and pages long. He was hesitant to show that to people, but yet he wanted to share it so they could copy and paste it and put it into blocked words. Let me show you where you find that. Okay, so you come up here, click on your channel icon, and you want to go to the YouTube Studio. Once this loads up, then you'll click on Settings within the Studio, and a whole new window opens up, and where you go next is Community. You see that you can add moderators, approved users, or hidden users. If there's somebody that's spamming you or saying mean things, you just don't want them to see your videos, you can actually block them. But look at this section right here. I just put in a play word but, or let's say bum, okay? Then hit a comma. Now those words are blocked. Now you can probably think of a lot worse words than that. All types of swear words or topics or just anything that you don't want people talking about. I mean, if you don't want people talking about Nazis, put the word Nazi in there, and anyone that uses the word Nazi in a comment, their comment will be blocked. And let me show you what actually happens if I click on this question mark. It says that comments closely matching these words will be held for review. So they will not appear in your comment section. They will be held for review. Some of them will be blocked. And then it says live chats matching these words will also be blocked. When there's a live broadcast going on, if your kids happen to do live stuff and there's comments coming through, those type comments with swear words or any of the words that you put in here will not appear in that chat. And then you'll also notice below that you can block links so that people cannot post links to other websites, taking them somewhere you don't know, or advertise or spam. I recommend leaving this box checked, and then you just come down here and hit save. Okay, we got all the protective features in place. Now we got to find content that we do want them to watch. So this channel here, Smarter Every Day, this guy's name is Destin. Subscribe to his channel. He's clean, he's very family friendly, he's got good values, and all of his content is fantastic. Kids enjoy it, and it's very informative and educational. I mean, he tours a rocket factory where they show how they actually build rockets. He, in this video, talked about pulleys, okay? Another one that I highly recommend, this is Veritasium, Derek Muller. Some of the topics might be boring for younger kids. Other ones are just, you know, perplexing problems that younger kids would like, but teenagers will definitely enjoy the educational content on this channel. He does a really good job. Physics Girl is a lot of the same stuff. She's got a fun personality. She has lots of experiments that you can do at home. Now this channel is kind of science, but a lot of just experiments. And what would happen if we light this on fire? Or what would happen if we try and make a candy record? What happens when we mix super glue and cinnamon? So kids just love this channel and they eat it up. Especially my boys. My daughter, but my boys love this channel. I'm going to subscribe to it here. This isn't really the, okay, maybe I already am. Yep, I'm already subscribed. Another one, What's Inside? Okay, this channel is actually run by a friend of mine. Dan Markham and his son Lincoln are in these videos. They cut things open, right? So if you want to know what's inside a rattlesnake rattle, what's inside a Tesla charger, what's inside a 20-year-old Twinkie, they just cut things open, and it's actually pretty fun to watch, and kids really enjoy this one. Okay, now if you're into comedy, something like Saturday Night Live but clean for kids, I recommend checking out Studio C. Studio C is a lot of fun, tons of content here for years and years and years and years. I think they're on season 11. And then the original 10 cast members from Studio C, when they left, they started their own channel called JK Studios. And all this stuff is so much fun. Now, I have to say, this series of 4 videos that they just did where it's finished the sketch in quarantine, I actually made one as well on my channel. So most of the content on my channel is geared towards how to succeed on YouTube and how to succeed as an entrepreneur. Your teenagers may or may not be interested in that, but I do recommend that they watch this one episode right here where I did finish the sketch with JK Studios. Obviously you can see the thumbnail design is very similar to the 4 videos that they did right there. Now, in addition to these specific recommendations, do a search yourself. If your kids like a specific type of sport, type in that sport and you can find some good channels for them and subscribe to those. If they're like my sons and they like American Ninja Warrior, there's actually American Ninja Warrior Junior, and there's a lot of videos like that on YouTube. You could subscribe to that channel. Any hobbies? You know what, I'm going to show you one more. There's a channel called Flight Test. This channel's all about RC planes and other things that they can make fly. I mean, you can see here they made a sled fly. They made the Starship Enterprise fly. They actually made a tank. Look, the Millennium Falcon right there. So it's a really fun educational channel, but it's related to a hobby. And I suggest that you find channels related to hobbies that you and your family enjoy. So now that we got all that out of the way, I definitely recommend before you step away from the computer, go and watch this video. It's called Hire People in the Philippines, Finish the Sketch, JK Studios. Go watch that video now. You're really going to enjoy it.